Right, so we're at the South Kesteven Amateur Radio Society's bi-weekly meeting. It's here at Tango Towers Chapel, and the organ's watching in the background. We'll carefully line this up so none of the members get shown, because it's not about people, it's about radios that we do things with. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got 7 people plus me here, so that's good fun. And the dog, whose name is?
Enzo.
Enzo?
As in Ferrari.
That's just gone straight over my head.
Red and expensive.
We'll try and put a picture of that in a moment. Now, one of our regular trade customers has brought in, this was planned, has brought in this Harvard 402 MPA, and I really like these. And we have a young lady here today, and she's bought a multimeter. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get her to do the VCO on this. That sounds like fun. So we don't have any test equipment as such, but I brought the dummy load so we don't blow it up, especially as the customer's present. He does know that we've got another brand new one in stock. So there we go. He's an A-licensed radio amateur, so don't. But he does have a vast collection of Citizens Band UK radios. We're going to use this as a signal source to do the detector, because the young lady wants to look at oscilloscopes as well. So I'm going to open this up. So, where's my trimming tool? Just there. We'll get a picture of that dog in eventually. So folks, using the young lady's multimeter, and when I've done the video, I'll get her to do it. We'll switch it on, 20 volt range. These sets, I recall, are I think they are I'm not sure if they're isolated chassis, whether they're not. So I'm going to put our negative into the power supply, and hopefully it's going to stay put.
Do you want to hold it?
I'll just see how we go. I'll tell you what, we'll move that to there. That's it. Can we see that as well? Yes, we can. So it's capacitor 9, the far side. So there's capacitor 9, there's the far side. And right now, we've got 2 volts, 2.15. The service manual says it's supposed to be on channel 1, it's supposed to be 2 volts. 1.99. So we won't be adjusting that. So now we're going to go into transmit with the dummy load. We've got 1.56, and that's also supposed to be 2. So we will adjust that one. And in this case, it's the red trimmer capacitor. And which way I turn, it's bound to be the wrong way, and I'm correct, it was the wrong way. So there we now have 2 volts on transmit. Let's go back to receive, because it can affect, we've got 1.99 toggling too. So that is the VCO set up on this radio. The other thing we're going to do right now is, if this set receives, you know what? I've disconnected the speaker. That was something which we needed to do, but I'm going to have to reconnect it for the next bit of the demonstration. Even the repeater agrees with me. First of all, we need to know whether this... I brought this as a signal source. No idea whether it works, but it says it's got a red sticker on the back, which means our mark, G7NDJ, has already tested it and says it doesn't work. So it probably doesn't work. So, this is going to be on channel 30. Just like that. I'm just going to put these wires back on as a temporary measure, especially when the soldering iron's warming up. Like waiting for a kettle to boil, this is. So, what we actually also need, I'm going to pause the camera while we get an oscilloscope. Right, so now we've got to the stage where we've got Mr. Chippy over in the corner with a TD's walkie-talkie with one of those call tones. Just press that, Mr. Chippy. And if we can see the oscilloscope, I'm just going to move the camera so you can see me. I've had to put the speaker back on temporarily. So, see that? Very small thing, very small waveform. So if we are convinced the detector's out, so the detector coil is there, I've shown you this a million times. Could be on a false lock point. So that would have sounded thin and distorted as it was. So we'll rejoin this radio in the workshop in a few days' time. Before we do, I'll pause the camera and we've got to do the dog.
Oh, that's a torch.
So, what's that doggy's name?
Enzo.
I see. There you go. And what make and model's that?
It's a cocker spaniel.
Oh, I wouldn't know, you see. Thank you very much. We'll rejoin in the workshop. Okay, so we're going to follow on from the footage which you will already have seen of our club meeting. I was starting today, this is about 10 days later from that previous bit of video, and we've got it on the bench with a new trimmer to go in. So it's finally kind of time for this one to be done. There is a Maxcom 30E in front of it, but it's got serious issues, and I think we're best off substituting it for one of ours. It's going to be far cheaper and better for the customer. See what he says. So, we're here to change the trimmer capacitor initially, and we'll see how it goes on transmit power, but I doubt we're going to get 4 watts with the 3 watt ballast resistor. We'll get this speaker removed, make it a bit easier to work on, and put the right glasses on. So this set was discarded because of its lousy receive, and you saw in the previous thing we were able to set that just using a kiddie's walkie-talkie in tone mode, and we'll go through it properly with the test gear, but the outcome will still be the same. Don't expect it needs any adjustment at all. Let's get this trimmer out, if we can find where it is on this side. I think it's there. I'm looking forward to scratchy cornering this because they always work well. One of my favourite sets. I like them better than the Mustang because they don't have the bleed. Oh, there we are. That's one leg out. Not sure I'll be doing much of this in December. I'm booked for 26 church services. Right, let's get that one new one in. Making sure that I've cleared the holes out. So it's typical, one of these is full of dirt or failing or whatever. When you come back to it 10 minutes later and it's changed. Right, there we go. So with that power lead, it's worth as much as the radio. set powered up. We'll start filling in one of our sheets. So there we go. Right, VCO, here we come. Now I'm not expecting the receive to have changed. Better plug the aerial in, or we'll be blowing his PA up. So channel 1, 2 volts, transmit 6.1. Well, of course it's going to be wrong because I've just put a new part in. So that's transmit, that's receive 2.0, 1, transmit 2.0, 2.13 is it stabilised, back to receive, back to transmit. Good, so that's sorted that out. I will be checking that later on before we button the setup for the customer, just to make sure that it is stable. So it was, I'll put 2 volts plus intermittent, so it's 2 volts plus 2 volts. Right, we'll switch picture in picture on and make sure we've got the main meter on, so we're showing transmitted power. I'm in the 3 watt range. Here we go, banging across, it's doing more than 3 watts, in fact it's doing 3.3. On channel 1. Channel 40, it's doing 3, and on channel 20 it's doing 3.15. See if we can centralise that, and if I can't get 3 and 3.6 out of it, we're changing the ballast resistor. I left my walkie-talkie on, I have. Centralised. Different tool. Nope. No, that's it, 3.3. So get that ballast resistor changed for a beefier one, the 3.3 ohms. I'm going to drop the value slightly to 3 ohms as well. If you ever see one of these missing, make sure you replace it or it will kill the PA. I've shown a demonstration before. It does about 7 watts, but 2 of it's on 27 megs and the rest of it's on aircraft band. So unless you want a jumbo jet on your house or a confused cruise missile. A really long lead time on these. So the sister flex sleeving, we've got that, but may as well recover what's on it already. So it's not physically bigger, but these are a 6 watt rated one, whereas the one which is fitted is 3 watt rated. Clearly says so on it. Don't think these say. Anyway, proof of the pudding's in the eating. This is why I started this channel, you know, because I saw some numpties doing their ridiculous modifications to these sets. So they did 7 watts for about 10 minutes till the PA blows up. I think you can't do that. The one where we demonstrate what happens if you short the ballast resistor out is still in the back catalogue for you to all look at how many watts it does on aircraft band. Right, so that's our first component change. Now let's see what the power's doing. Oh, 4 point something. That's better. Make sure that's at peak and make sure that's tuned downwards for 4 watts. There we are, 4 watts. Channel 1 and channel 40, let's just check those. Channel 1, 4.05 watts, and channel 40 is 3.9 watts. I'll just see if I can centralise that a bit better. Not with that one I can't. That's 4. That's 4. They're all 4 now. Four watt, 4 watt, 4 watt. Ballast resistor, 6 watt, 3 RO. Transmit current, I should have taken that before, it's now 1.6 amps. Deviation, wallow. Now I'm reading that as 3.5, so we'll just adjust it. Wallow. That's now 3.5. Just put it on the test set behind me, just in case this test set is playing up on its deviation meter today. It wasn't yesterday, but it might be in a shan't mood today. I need a different pair of glasses to read that one. Wow, it's spot on. Just do a second check. Wow, it could be a bit high, that. Could be a bit high. Wow. Oh, there we go. I've seen these sets with 15 kilohertz. They just transmit on several channels at once and sound decent to a fidelity 1000, but nothing else. So what's it, about 4.5? Now 2.2 to 2.5 kilohertz. What have I put that there? It's 2 volts. 2 volts plus intermittent, 2 volts plus 2 volts.
low power. Let's do low power. Switch to low power on the test set, and the radio is doing 1.2.5. Don't know what it was doing before. 2.5 frequency. Let's go back to full power and frequency. Go to the frequency counter. 2779101. 2779101. Well, if it won't adjust from that, that'll be fine. But if it will adjust, well, we will. Some of these are now the age that they've gone out of adjustment range. But it really doesn't matter if it's that close. Well, it's nearly there. That's our top, 79120. Near enough. Right, receive. Better plug the test equipment in. Just plug the PA speaker in as well. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. PA's working. Back to CB. Turn the squelch down. SINAD meter on. Just see what it's doing. Make sure we're on frequency 2779. A bit low. I'll set the signal generator for 120 so that it's exactly the same as the radio is actually on, so we're not doing it lopsided. So I'll go back to transmit, and it's doing 2779118 at the moment. So we'll set the receiver exactly the same. Just so that it's not lopsided. Look at what we've got then. We have, because these are normally capable of really good results, 2.5 for 10 dB, 2.2 for 20. If it does it, it does do it. 1. Squelch. One of the letdowns on this chassis actually never opens, and the sensitivity, turn it down, set the threshold, signal generator to standby. Is 0.57. S9 is 100 microvolts, and it's showing a little bit generous. So on this set it's 43 microvolts. Meter lamp works, switches work, pots work, and that leaves us with the transmit lamp, transmit meter. Should be in the centre of the red zone, where it's right over to the strawberry patch, good buddy. So we'll adjust that so it's in the centre of the red zone, just like that. So that was full scale deflection, and now it's 4. Good. We know the speaker works, so we checked it in the chapel at the meeting. Let's see if we can get anything more out of the receiver, although it's very much fantastic as it is. Go over to the oscilloscope, because we're going to look at that detector which previously we'd done in the chapel. Is it that one? It would be if that one fitted. I don't know where all these tools go. Is it that one? No. Is it that one? No. You know, it's exactly right. Just setting it with that walkie-talkie was exactly right. Okay, just to prove that, you see. So now we'll drop the signal so we're not saturating the radio receiver. And we'll run through it. No difference. No difference. No difference. Bigger signal for the IFs. None of these want to fit. No difference. That looks broken. And that's okay. I'm going to get a different tool out. That coil is broken. Well, there was going to have to be something, wasn't there? I mean, this is fantastic as it is, and you could say, well, I will just leave it. But, you know, he wants it servicing, let's do it properly. It's like leaving a dodgy bolt doing an exhaust pipe. Ooh. I don't remember ever having to change one of these before. It's had the golden something in it, hasn't it? It's had the golden screwdriver instead of the correct trimming tool. And it turns beautifully. You can see why this is scrap. This has had the golden screwdriver expert in it. So we only can fix about 95% as the set's presented. You know, it's if they've been golden screwdriver, then that's it, isn't it? Well, it appears to be out in one piece. Right, so putting that back in, and let's see whether we've got an improvement. Oh, I'm in some wrong mode there. There we go. Right, that's that button. See if we can tune that. So, where are we? SINAD meter. I'll tell you what, that's brought the sensitivity up. Wow. Oh, I'm in the wrong scale, no wonder. So we've now got a proper peak on that. We'll go back to the other one. It's going to affect it. Let's put a bigger signal on. It's knowing which is best, small signal or a big signal. I think we're there. Wow, well that's the 0.3 scale. Let's go to the normal scale. Right, we've got a new reading. So it was worth it. We've now got .215. .2 can't really go under that unless there's a huge difference. I mean changing scales, and then for 20 actually not much of a change there. 0.8. That was 0.25, I got that wrong. 0.22. So despite it being very good, it's now very gooder. So next, let's see if we can get the squelch better on this, unless it's come better. So full squelch, and let's go to the attenuator. I want it to open at 100, 3, 10, 30, 100. It doesn't. So we'll adjust the squelch preset. That's now opening to 100 microvolts. We can get the tool back out. Yep. And now the sensitivity is where? Sensitivity. About the same, I think, as where it was. Let's have a look. 0.57. So you got the same. 0.57 microvolts, and now it's 100 microvolts. So let's get the meter sorted. So 100 microvolts on the signal generator. He's showing S9. That is so close. I'm going to adjust it, but he's so close. It's now 100 microvolts. I think he sent a mine, but I can't remember, but it doesn't matter whether he did or he didn't. Right, get the lid back on. It's had a replacement speaker. Probably unnecessarily, because the owner thought that the distorted audio was because of the speaker being deaf, when in fact it was because the detector was out. So you saw how we managed to adjust that. Take the external speaker off, now on internal speaker. Well, I must say that's come up a treat. And the genuine version of this chassis usually really good. You only find the cheapo, potentially pirate version in Amstrad 901s. You don't find it in any of the other sets I've ever come across. Now, if you buy the Spinitronic CB199 or the H646, they are the El Cheapo, potentially pirate chassis. Inherently, there isn't another version. So you're always going to have poor squelch performance and poor reliability. But all the Mustangs, 1000, 2000, 3000, the Harvard base stations, this 402 MPA, the NATO 40, and the plethora of other sets that use the Cybernet 002F chassis work well. And you know what? Most of the parts in is a Sanyo. It makes you wonder if it wasn't a... Let's see if we can make an entire CB radio with nothing but Sanyo parts. There we go. That's really nice. So get it off the test gear, turn all that off, save some electricity, put it on the aerial, and see if the burner brigade at Nottingham are out there. No, they're not. 19 Roger. Right, we'll leave it at that. I'm doing on the air test later on. So, hope you enjoyed that, looking at the Harvard 402 MPA. So we've got a Maxcom 30E, which we're not going to be able to do anything with economically at all. Need to really replace that with one of our sets for him. And then I've got another batch of sets from Alan for actual repair rather than as gifts. But I want to get a couple of the sets we've bought from Lincolnshire done first. I also want to drop in another emergency kit of ours. So there you go. Thanks for watching the Harvard 402 MPA from 1981.